Hi there, thanks for watching. In this video we'll be looking at how we can use Fuse to create classes inside of Fuse Studio. So a class allows us to make reusable content, but before we jump ahead of ourselves, let's make a new Fuse project using Fuse create app, and I'll call this Fuse class. We can then cd into Fuse class. And of course, we're going to open this up inside of our editor and at the same time, Fuse Studio. So once again, I will reiterate that if you want to use Fuse, head over to fusetools.com and you can also get a free trial of Fuse Studio if you hit plans. And for example, if we then hit download on the free version, we can see that we can get this 30-day free trial of Fuse Professional. So I've opened our project up inside of Fuse Studio. Now what I'm going to do at this point is drag a rectangle onto our application. I'm going to select that rectangle, and Fuse Studio allows us to change things such as the width, height, layout, and much more. Let's give this a width of 150 and a height of 150. We'll then select style and put the color to be something like red. And you certainly can't miss this rectangle because we have a rectangle now in the middle of our screen which is completely red. Let's now take a circle, and I'm going to add the circle underneath the rectangle. This circle will also have the height of 150 and the width of 150. But this time our circle is going to be blue. I'm going to place these things in a stack panel, so we'll add a stack panel above the rectangle. We can potentially add some padding to this, so let's first put some item spacing of 10 and maybe some padding of 20 from the top. So at this point we can then select one of these items from the navbar here on the left, or alternatively hit selection and select one of these items. If we select the rectangle and then we hit make class from selection, this gives us the ability to add a class name. I'm going to give this the name of red rectangle. And we also have the ability to extract this class to its own .ux file. This allows us to work with our classes much easier, so I'm going to select this checkbox and hit create class. Notice now we have this red rectangle class inside the list of classes. Let's do the same, but we'll select the circle, and we'll call this my circle. We'll extract this to our new file once again, and hit create class. So we now have my circle, and we now also have red rectangle. These are two just random classes that we've made, but you'll notice that we can then drag the circle or the rectangle into this stack panel. And then we get a new instance of that class. Now you can imagine that if this was a more complex element, this would then allow us to add powerful elements to our user interface with ease. We simply can just drag and drop the classes as we wish. You'll notice that what we can then do is right-click this class, and we can either edit the red rectangle, and that allows us to potentially change this, and you'll notice that all instances of our rectangle are changing. So at any point, if we wanted to change the color of this rectangle, for example, we could give this a gradient, maybe from this green to this blue. We could also give this some drop shadow. And as we continue to add more things to this rectangle, each instance changes. So if we had a complex application with multiple screens, all of these things would change. You'll also notice that we can drag more items onto the red rectangle class. If I drag this circle underneath the rectangle, you'll see that this is added when we put the width and height of 100 and maybe the color of a yellow. And this allows us to have some interesting UI elements that are really easy to edit and create. We aren't limited to simply editing this inside of Fuse Studio. As always, we can right-click this class and hit Locate in Editor. And you'll also find that, for example, then when we come to look at the code for this particular class, it's really clean. There's nothing more than it needs to be. It's simply a rectangle with a gradient, 2 gradient stops, and our drop shadow and circle. So that's how we go ahead and make classes inside of Fuse Studio. I think you'll find that this is really powerful when it comes to making reusable elements inside of your Fuse projects. So if you haven't seen already, I do have a Fuse course over at paulhalliday.io. You can find a link to this inside of the description. And as you can see here, it's called Create Cross-Platform Native Mobile Applications with Fuse. Now this goes through how we'd create our own Fuse applications, and I'm always adding more content to this course, so if you're interested in getting started with Fuse, this is an awesome starting point. Thanks a lot for watching. Let me know what you want to see in the next Fuse video inside of the comment section below. Do you want me to build some applications here on the channel? Are you interested in particular native integrations? Let me know, I'll make the videos. Thanks a lot. See you soon.
Oh, this you crazy mother.